this is an issue that we were dealing with when I was here in the 90s. I was green. I really didn't understand the complexity and the political implications of this issue, but at the time we were trying to get some clarification of the conflicting boundaries. Provided in the packet just some basic documents that came from the formation of the district, where the boundaries are described, and the boundaries, of course, the majority of this is legal description. It would be fantastic if the county had a very clear picture, lot by lot by lot, of exactly where the district boundary lies. They do know it, but we don't have a good graphical map, and that's what the district was actually moving toward, developing its own mapping. We had purchased very expensive software, and then the person that had trained themselves to use the software was no longer with the district, and then nobody picked it up, and then somebody tried to pick it up. It was a bit back and forth, but it was an expensive, and it was lost in the fire in 2012.
Is that what that big giant map thing was?
Yeah, that we were trying to sell.
GIS program.
Yeah, we were trying to sell it.
Okay, so there are three different things at play here at minimum. One is the district boundaries, established by LAFCO, amendable only by LAFCO. Within those boundaries, the district has the ability to adopt rules and regulations to affect service. It doesn't have anything to do with where our pipes are. It doesn't have anything to do with, a place of use or a specific water supply. It has to do with a boundary that was established under the Cochise-Knox-Hertzberg Act. Okay, and there are a number of legal requirements around that talk about how the district is formed and when those boundaries need to be amended. Typically what happens is, over time, you have people come in that want to develop a piece of property that's adjacent to the district boundaries, and they'll submit an annexation request, and it'll go through a process through LAFCO to get approved or denied. The LAFCO process is simple in some regards. If you go and look at, especially Cal LAFCO, they've got really good procedures on how to go through things. But LAFCO can also be a very cumbersome process. It can be really expensive on the person submitting the request to annex, because it is not the district's expense. If somebody wants to annex to the district, that means change the boundaries of the district that is identified in that legal description to encompass a new place. That process, which includes environmental review, engineering, mapping, and a LAFCO application and LAFCO hearings, is all on the Annex E, the person requesting, the applicant requesting it, okay? Then the second item for consideration is the sphere of influence. For some districts, LAFCO drew a circle on the map around your boundaries and said, here's where your sphere of influence is. Anything that comes up inside that sphere, we're gonna run by you to see if you're gonna provide it service. In our case, it was, the sphere included some potential interest areas outside the district boundaries, but not much. You can, in the maps that are produced by the LAFCO, Mariposa County, there's just very little difference between the sphere of influence map and the district boundary map. Okay, so is there clarity on those two things? That's LAFCO. There's it doesn't care how many services you provide. It doesn't care what your funding is. It doesn't care where you get your water. LAFCO will include that in an evaluation, but that doesn't set your boundaries. Your boundaries are by the way that it was established when your district was formed, and then how it's amended over time through LAFCO. request to annex, because it is not the district's expense. If somebody wants to annex to the district, that means change the boundaries of the district that is identified in that legal description to encompass a new place. That process, which includes environmental review, engineering, mapping, and a LAFCO application and LAFCO hearings, is all on the Annex E, the person requesting, the applicant requesting it, okay? Then the second item for consideration is the sphere of influence. For some districts, LAFCO drew a circle on the map around your boundaries and said, here's where your sphere of influence is. Anything that comes up inside that sphere, we're gonna run by you to see if you're gonna provide it service. In our case, it was, the sphere included some potential interest areas outside the district boundaries, but not much. You can, in the maps that are produced by the LAFCO, Mariposa County, there's just very little difference between the sphere of influence map and the district boundary map. Okay, so is there clarity on those two things? That's LAFCO. There's no, it doesn't care how many services you provide. It doesn't care what your funding is. It doesn't care where you get your water. LAFCO will include that in an evaluation, but that doesn't set your boundaries. Your boundaries are by the way that it was established when your district was formed, and then how it's amended over time through LAFCO.
LAFCO within the boundary.
Yep.
Must serve water. Just that's simple, it's to the point. Is that what it means? If they're within the boundary, you must serve water to them as a district?
It means that they have the ability to request water service.
But they have to annex?
Not if they're in the district boundaries.
Okay,
Annexation only applies to properties outside the district boundaries.
Okay.
In the district boundaries, that's what I said, whoever submits a request to annex, if they're outside the boundaries, it's their expense.
Gotcha.
So inside the boundaries, there's no annexation requirement, even if they're not connected to the system.
Clarify for me, I understand district boundary, sphere of influence. Is that inside the boundaries of the district or outside?
Outside.
So those sphere of influence would have to annex then?
No. Sphere of influence is simply just a place on a map where it is the highest potential for the district to grow. And the sphere of influence is what's required of LAFCO to take under consideration, because LAFCO is there to keep any conflict from occurring from multiple districts overlapping and taking services from others.
To territorial.
Territorial. So they have to establish the boundaries. Here's your service area today. Here's your potential service area tomorrow. Everybody agree with that? Because it's a public process. Public hearings, notification, everybody gets to know. And they're really supposed to update that. And they've been talking about updating it, and obviously they had agreement with the district. And I remember when I first got here, there was discussion about a request for proposals and getting involved in that update of the sphere of influence, which is...
in my little pea brain, I live in this area. I don't live in the Lake Don Pedro subdivision, but I live in the sphere of influence. So what you're saying to me is I don't have to annex through LAFCO to request service.
Okay, the sphere of influence means nothing.
Okay.
In that discussion, it's only the district boundaries.
Okay.
The district, Jim, I think you hit it. Yeah. We can, but I gotta turn it around. The district can provide you service if you were in the district boundaries.
Okay.
Regardless of where our water pipes are or the subdivision, okay?
Okay. And regardless of annexation?
In the district boundaries.
Okay.
If you are outside the district boundaries, you have to get annexed to get that service, or LAFCO can do a out of area contract. If it doesn't make sense for them to annex, they can do an out of area contract, but it's supposed to be approved by LAFCO. And if they are outside the boundaries and outside the sphere, it makes it more work. Challenging, that's it, yeah.
And more expensive for them.
But I'm confused. You said that LAFCO hasn't made a change since 1980. Our boundaries have not changed since they were formed. So how could all this acreage have been added into our district without LAFCO approving it?
Which, well, that,
Are, is there, see, that's why I'm asking the sphere of influence here.
No, not sphere, I'm talking about our district
I know.
boundaries have not been changed since created.
Okay.
Therefore, how did we expand district boundaries without LAFCO approval?
I don't know if they have been moved.
Well, Emery Ross's property is not annexed, and it is in the district property.
But
It's
if
in the boundaries.
If it was established, hold on, if it was established within the district boundaries.
No,
I
the
don't know.
boundaries were changed to include it.
Well, see, that's where.
How could that be done without
I have a
LAFCO?
question, if you don't mind. Was there has there been an annexation done? And is your property, do you know if you are located within the district boundaries or outside?
I am within the district boundaries, because if I look at the not the subdivision, really.
No.
The LAFCO
It
boundaries.
says here, district boundaries have not been changed since 1980.
What I'm trying to say is, the far point of my property, when I look at the maps from the county, runs along the far edge. In order to get the Sturtevant tank in there, they put it up there. Now, whether that was original, they may have done that